Maestro Michele Gamba, before we start, I would like to say how honored we are that you have accepted our invitation. First of all, what were your thoughts or your feelings regarding the idea of conducting our orchestra here in Cluj?
Well, I'm of course very honored, and as you know, Romania and Italy are very close, and we are cousins somehow culturally. And Cluj, especially, it's such an historical city, very famous worldwide. I mean, for its history, its culture. And when I got this offer from your orchestra and your theater, I felt very honored myself, because it's certainly a place which is central in the European culture. And coming to Cluj for me for the first time, it's very exciting, and I'm very curious also to understand our mutual cultural interests and cultural roots. Actually, what makes us feel so close to each other in terms of cultural backgrounds and feelings.
You have been conducting orchestral music since 2009, but if I'm not mistaken, your activity in the world of opera began later in 2012. Can you tell us how the fascination with opera came about back then?
Yes, you're very right. I mean, I started off with the symphonic repertoire because the symphonic repertoire has always been my first interest. Opera came in later because I'm a pianist myself. And as an Italian pianist, Italian pianist and conductor, you also have to somehow develop what it's in your DNA, if you like. So, I mean, opera, certainly it's part of our national cultural patrimony. And I felt very much the need to expand my repertoire, not only into the symphonic field, but also branching out to the opera. And it's easy to fall in love with opera in general. Certainly easier for an Italian to fall in love with Italian opera, for sure.
I completely agree. Not only for Italians.
Yes.
You have said that will be the first time to be here in Cluj, but during your career, have you met any Romanian opera singers, or perhaps had any other types of connections to Romania in the past?
Many opera singers, many Romanian artists and musicians. Anyway, I mean, I played and I conducted with many singers. I mean, I can mention Cristina Damian, for example, Zoltan Nagy, and who I met in Vienna, and and then also, of course, with great pianists. Of course, you have Radu Lupu, who is a national hero, and but also many other, even younger pianists, for example, of my generation, who are very good, or violinists. Many good colleagues. I mean, you have a strong cultural identity and a strong cultural development, especially regard to music. And of course, I mean, you are the country of George Enescu and many other composers.
Yes.
And of course, the deep impact that Celibidache, everyone must have mentioned Celibidache to you, but
yes,
it's clear and absolutely not avoidable as a central figure in music making in the 20th century. So, I mean, Romania has always been central for anyone who wants to make music as a career, as a profession.
From a conductor's perspective, how would you describe the essence of Rigoletto and what makes it special?
Rigoletto is a very dark opera, very dark. Actually, if you like, very intimate. There is no, how would I say, it's a tragedy in itself, but with no, what we say in Italian, with no catharsis, with no purification. Because in the end, of course, Gilda dies, but Rigoletto doesn't. So he's still alive and he's still there to basically continue his own torture. So it's something that makes me feel very uneasy, and it's a very, very somber opera with dark sounds, and certainly what is also interesting is the element of contrasts between the tragedy of Rigoletto and actually the of course the parties that you hear at the beginning, or the, how would I say, the easygoing extroverted life of the Duke. And all this is putting music in a very immediate way, because of course it is it's so-called popular opera, you know, but actually there is a lot of elegance, because it's still about the Duke being an aristocrat, and therefore you find many dances, many, again, bright colors, which are in clear juxtaposition with the darkness and the utter tragedy of Rigoletto itself, who is not only a handicapped person, but is also someone who has to bear this malediction, you know, this damnation, in a way, la maledizione. And it's easy to play Rigoletto in a very loud way, because it's being a popular opera, people want to hear only the popular and easy side of it. But actually Rigoletto is a very soft and very much pianissimo opera. You find indications by Verdi which are actually very interesting, because not 1 or 2 P's to indicate piano or pianissimo, but 5, 6 P's, which means basically that you have to fake playing, you know, fake singing. So it's interesting, that I think that dark side which makes Rigoletto so human, and it's not easy to find any compassion for Rigoletto as such, I think.
Is there anything else you would like to say to your audience?
Well, it's after this long period of lockdowns and restrictions because of COVID and all this pandemic. I think that music, I mean, this period has proven us that music is so central in our life, and sharing music live. That means that we need you, we need the audience to come to the theater of Cluj to listen to Rigoletto, because it's something that makes our existence worth it, and something that makes us feel as a community. And it's very important to participate live in person to a performance, and certainly, you know, with the Cluj Opera and the Cluj Orchestra, everyone will try to give their very best to, you know, again, recreate this atmosphere of community that only music can let us experience.
Thank you very much, Maestro, for your time, and looking forward to seeing you conducting our orchestra.
Me too. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.